Well, nobody woke up in a better mood today than James Gunn because he got the news that Marvel, the MCU, is not going to have a Hall H presentation at Comic-Con this year. The report comes to us from the folks over at The Hollywood Reporter who say the following. Marvel Studios will not be headed to San Diego Comic-Con for its customary Hall H presentation in July, The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. The Disney-owned studio has long maintained it will only attend the con when it can truly deliver. Marvel panels are far and away considered the highlight of most years, with attendees camping out overnight for a seat in the 6,500-person hall. The Wrap first reported the news. Okay, so this really shouldn't come as that big of a surprise that Marvel is not going to be attending this year. Now, there have been years in the past where there's been some speculation about whether or not Marvel would go to Comic-Con because they've been trying to elevate the profile of their own D23. They've been, and so there's been their own, of course, with Star Wars, having their own Star Wars celebration. And there's been an emphasis on their own conventions that they control. But that's not the case here. Now, when the Hollywood Reporter says that they're not going because, Marvel says, we're only going to go when we can truly deliver. Well, it's true on one hand, they don't have a lot to deliver. I mean, last year they pretty much dropped all the news that there is to have. I mean, we know everything. And on top of all that, the news has shifted because here's the main reason why Marvel isn't going to be having a Hall H this year. Are you ready? Here we go. Because the state of the MCU is a bloody mess. Hey, and I say that as a guy who likes most MCU movies, loves a lot of them. But the state of the MCU is a bloody mess. I mean, just look at one of the big recent shuffles they did. I mean, moving almost everything they had around, and not by insignificant amounts either. Captain America moved from May 3rd to July. Thunderbolts from July 26th to December. Fantastic Four from February 2025 to May of 2025. That's not a huge move, but Avengers Kang Dynasty moved a full year. Avengers Secret Wars moved a full year. Deadpool 3 moved up. That was the good news. But even things like Daredevil, not their own fault, but their production is indefinitely on hold. They have all types of things. They also just removed 2 release dates. They had 2 release dates in 2024 and 2025 that were marked as untitled Marvel film projects. Those have now been removed and renamed with Disney unnamed release titles. So Disney is still holding on the release dates, but apparently they're not going to be Marvel films. The new phases have been mixed in their results. Yes, we have had a couple of great films. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was fantastic, but Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was ass. Yes, Ms. Marvel's fantastic, but I thought Hawkeye was a disappointment. Moon Knight didn't exactly shake the world. She-Hulk, which I thought started well, but ended up being a pretty much unfunny mess. And I have said before that I actually kind of believe that right now Marvel is maybe reconsidering their entire approach right now. And on top of all that, the main person that the whole new phase of these movies is supposed to revolve around, Jonathan Majors, he's starting a criminal assault trial in August, and Disney has no idea which way that's going to go. I mean, yes, Jonathan Majors' lawyer says, I've got all this evidence that proves he's innocent, but apparently that's not good enough for the district attorney who's continuing on with the charges. And you know what district attorneys don't like to do? They don't like to try cases that they don't think they have a good chance of winning. Now, I'm not saying Jonathan Majors is innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm just saying it all adds up to a big mess that Marvel is in right now. And so, of course, I mean, what would they do at Comic-Con this year? I mean, the one big obvious thing is, we'll announce the cast of Fantastic Four. Okay, but you're not going to have a Hall H presentation for something you can drop in a press release in the morning.
Look, I'm going to bring up the good thing about what I'm seeing from Marvel. Even though Hawkeye was bad, I can't wait to see Kate Bishop again. Even though Moon Knight people didn't like, I can't wait to see him again. The characters are there. They just need to tell better stories. You know what I mean? Like She-Hulk. I can't wait to see her. That actress who plays her is great. It's just whatever they were in that we've seen has just been...
Well, and that's the mess part, right? Like, and within the mess, there have been good things. Again, Shang-Chi, fantastic. WandaVision, fantastic. Ms. Marvel, fantastic. Guardians 3, fantastic. It's just that amidst a lot of the fantastic, there's an uncharacteristic amount of mess around. Got all the release date moves now. They got one of your big stars is on a trial right now. I mean, it's just a mess. So really, what would Marvel do? And it's unfortunate because some of the best memories at Comic-Con are Marvel's Hall H. One of the greatest moments ever, I think, in Hall H was when Tom Hiddleston came out on stage as Loki and said, "I am Loki of Asgard and I am burdened with glorious purpose."
And then the opposite was Black Adam trying to do the same thing.
Oh yeah, that didn't work out nearly as well. But or Joss Whedon when they came out and they made the big Avengers announcements, or when you had even just recently you had they announced Blade with Mahershala Ali, and they've like some of the greatest moments in Hall H are Marvel moments. 100%, and they always kick ass at it. They always do a great job with it when they're at Comic-Con. But yeah, what on earth would they do there except for have Kevin Feige, who, by the way, I adore Kevin Feige. I love Kevin Feige. But I'm just saying, what's Kevin Feige going to do? Yeah, so remember when we said this was happening? Yeah, remember when we said Blade like 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's sort of also an Ezra Miller situation, right? Because what are the questions going to be? What's going on with Jonathan Majors? What's going on with Kang? So it's going to be negative, you know?
Well, do you have any comment on the Tinoch, the guy who plays...
Sure, I completely forgot about that.
So tell me more about these release date moves that everything's being pushed back.
You know what's great about Comic-Con is if we go back to the Black Adam thing, the reaction he got, maybe that was a sign of what the movie was going to do. You know what I mean? Like, people get excited. If the reaction to something at Comic-Con is mediocre, maybe the studios need to think about.
Well, and I also think they want to rethink. Look back at D23 and the huge fart bubble that was, right? And they saw the response coming out of D23. And do they want to just put a Hall H together where they really can't say anything? They got nothing to announce.
That's disrespectful.
Except for things that are just going to be moved. And
no.
they're just going to get faced with the same stuff that they did after D23. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. Think about it. The person you were 5 years ago is not the exact person that you are today. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way that we do until we talk things through. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. And guys, striving for better mental health is something we should all aspire to. I've talked about this before, but when somebody goes to the gym, we applaud them for getting out there to improve their physical health. Well, it's about time that we start looking at mental health the same way, not just by encouraging the people around us to look into therapy, but by also taking the step to take care of our own mental health as well. So listen, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a short questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. So guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Marvel is not going to be attending Comic-Con this year. If you're a Comic-Con attender, will this influence whether you decide to go or not? Let's be honest though, like 150,000 people are going and the auditorium only holds 6,000 people anyway. So maybe it didn't matter. Maybe you weren't going to get into that panel anyway. How happy exactly do you think James Gunn is right now? Because now he's going to go to Comic-Con. I hope he goes to Comic-Con and he's going to own that sucker. He's going to have the full all 3 days. He's going to have that whole damn thing to himself. Every announcement he makes is going to be super magnified because there's not going to be any countering Marvel announcements. I don't know. How do you guys feel about all this? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, make sure you subscribe to our daily podcast, the John Campea Show podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and your favorite podcasting app of choice.